Three HOA thugs attacked my wife on our own property. They thought I was just a quiet guy mowing lawns. What they didn't know, I'm a combat veteran, and when it comes to family, I don't play games. Where are you watching from? Drop your state and country in the comments. Let's see who stands up to bullies like this. We bought this house 3 years ago. Corner lot, double garage, neat hedges. Nothing fancy, just home. My wife, Lena, always dreamed of a place where she could garden and relax in peace. We chose this neighborhood because it was calm and respectful, the kind where people wave but mind their own business. I'm not the type to brag about my service. I spent 12 years in the infantry, came home with my share of stories, scars, and medals. But when I left the military, I left all that behind. I just wanted peace. So did Lena. At first, the HOA seemed fine. Monthly emails, friendly reminders, nothing serious. But then Rick Thompson got elected as the new HOA president, a man with more ego than sense. Suddenly, we had new rules, random inspections, and worse, enforcers. These weren't real security guards. They were 3 guys in matching polos, walking around like Navy SEALs. I caught them peeking through fences, taking pictures of trash cans, even checking people's mailboxes. It was harassment, plain and simple. We stayed quiet until that morning. I was on a Zoom call when I heard shouting outside. I stepped onto the porch and froze. Lena was backed up against our car, surrounded by the 3 goons. One had a clipboard, another waved an HOA pamphlet in her face, and the third was already getting too close. Something about hanging baskets being a safety violation. Lena was confused, asking questions. They didn't like that. Then one of them shoved her, not hard, but enough to make her stumble. I saw the shock in her eyes. That was it. I dropped my phone and walked down the porch like I was back in Fallujah. "Sir, back away from the scene," one barked. "Scene?" I said. "Buddy, you just made one. Wrong wife. Wrong driveway. Wrong veteran." I didn't raise my voice, didn't posture, just walked up calmly. "Step away from my wife," I said, quiet but firm. Clipboard guy smirked. "Sir, this is official HOA business." She was being uncooperative. Before he could finish, I caught his wrist mid-motion and twisted, just enough to make him drop the clipboard. He yelled. The second guy puffed up his chest. "You just assaulted an HOA officer." That was the last thing he said before my elbow met his chin. He dropped like a bag of tools. Lena screamed my name, not in fear, but as a warning. The third guy was behind me, swinging. I ducked, pivoted, and drove my knee into his ribs. He collapsed, gasping for air. These weren't trained men, just neighborhood bullies playing tough. 2 groaned on the ground. The one still standing stumbled back, grabbing his phone. "I'm calling the police." I smiled. "Good. I've been waiting for this." See, I'd already filed 2 complaints about these guys harassing neighbors, especially women home alone. Rick, the HOA president, laughed it off, but I had video evidence. Lena had turned on the driveway camera that morning. The responding officer, Officer Yanowitz, stepped out of her car. We'd trained together years ago, back when she was a private. She looked at me, then at the 3 men lying on my driveway. "Want to tell me what happened?" she asked. Lena showed her the footage. Clear video, clear audio, the shove, the yelling, my reaction. Yanowitz reviewed it, asked a few questions, then turned to the conscious guy. "You assaulted a woman on private property, then got folded by a veteran defending her. You want to press charges." His face fell apart. Just then, Rick Thompson pulled up shouting, "This is HOA business." Yanowitz didn't flinch. "No, sir. This is a criminal matter now." I looked at Rick. "You send men to touch my wife again, and I'll go federal." By sunset, the footage was online. Title, HOA thugs beat veteran's wife, get folded by her husband. The neighborhood forum exploded. People started sharing their own stories. Fake fines, trespassing, intimidation. Turns out those enforcers had bullied half the street. Rick tried to do damage control, posting a weak statement. "We regret the misunderstanding and will cooperate with authorities." It didn't work. The next morning, 2 of the men were hit with restraining orders. The third, the one who shoved Lena, was charged with assault. I provided my written report. Calm, factual, no emotion, just truth. Meanwhile, I filed a civil suit, trespassing, harassment, assault, emotional distress. We didn't want money. We wanted accountability. Rick panicked and called an emergency HOA meeting. I didn't go. Lena did, with Officer Yanowitz beside her and a folder full of neighbor testimonies. She read them aloud, including one from a single mom they'd threatened for having a stroller on her porch. People erupted, demanding resignations. Rick quit on the spot. The board was suspended, and county auditors uncovered missing fine money. No records, just cash. That night, Lena and I sat on the porch drinking tea. She smiled. "You didn't even break a sweat." I grinned. "Told you, I may mow lawns now, but I'm still that guy when I need to be." 2 days later, the guy who swung at me showed up limping with a handwritten apology. I took it silently. That evening, Lena burned in the fire pit. If you've ever had to stand your ground against an out-of-control HOA, tell your story below. I read every comment.